Hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. I am hanging out here Tuesday night. I just got back from SHOT Show in Vegas. We're gonna have us a great live stream tonight. You see this flannel shirt right here? That's my good buddy Eric. He's gonna be our guest tonight. No Steve Holland tonight hanging out. You guys are gonna love Eric. Eric is good people. Yeah, I got a great show planned. Eric is one of those hidden gems in Special Forces, and he went on to do great stuff after he left my old unit. He's now a knife maker. Funny how like Kyle Lamb and all these other guys, they take up knife making after they're done mixing metal and meat together for a full-time job. Kind of cool. We got our sponsor down here again, Venture Surplus. They are sponsoring tonight. You don't believe me? Listen to it. Hey guys, I'm surfing venturesurplus.com. They're constantly getting new gear in and updating their rotating catalogs. Kind of cool. Venture Surplus carries your basic to your higher end USGI that, you know, all the stuff that's been proven to work in the field. You know, you get the gear that you know that's not gonna let you down. They got a huge selection of US military surplus. They're constantly rotating their stock. So just because it's in stock today, that does not necessarily mean it's gonna be in stock tomorrow. So you know the deal, grab it while you can. It's not just drippy, pretty gear, all right? This stuff, while it does look cool, all right, it's combat proven and tested gear used by the US military for serious people, and it's being sold by people that actually know how to use it. Venture Surplus brings the surplus store to your door. Check it out at venturesurplus.com.
Here we go.
All right, guys, I am here with Eric Hansen. How you doing, brother?
What's up, my friend?
Yeah, dude, you got a little bit of a shake.
Yeah, I got the.
What is it?
Parkinson's going
Parkinson.
on.
Do you really?
Yeah, that's just. I got my
you guys, can you guys
brain
see
surgery.
that? So you know, joke, or
Yeah.
you just had surgery.
I did.
You got brain
My
damage.
Yeah. They put a harness on my head and put two drills and drilled down inside my skull and put the probes in.
When was this?
4 or 5 days ago.
4 or 5 days ago. I forgot that. Guys,
last
I
week.
hear you. I got the mic for him. I got the mic. I'm
you,
gonna
bro.
put your bib on here. Guys, his wife is sitting over there right
She's
now.
just off camera.
She's laughing at me. Well, she's really laughing at him.
Oh, yeah.
But you hear me say it all the time, how toughest job in Special Forces is a Green Beret's wife. Toughest job in the Army, hands down. So, ma'am, Thank you for putting up with us idiots for so long.
Yeah.
Guys, Eric is good people indeed. You got out and you have got a knife company now, right? What's it called? Phobos?
Phobos, yeah.
Phobos.
Four operators by operators.
4 operators by operators.
Yeah.
You came up with that all by yourself?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so...
Well, there was a company out of Detroit. That's where I was born. FUBU, for us, by us. It was a colored clothing line for like black rappers and hip hop and all that back in the day.
For us, by us.
For FUBU, and one of the designers for one of our logos, we came up with that, and he's like 4 operators by operators, Phobos, and I was like, That's it. That's it right there. That makes sense to me. That makes total sense to me. That really does. That makes good sense. Anyways, guys, I'm sitting here. I've got myself a good stiff cup of coffee. Eric's got a bottle of water. You got more surgery coming up, don't you? I do. I have.
When's your next one?
Tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow.
Holy smokes! And and I gave him a chance. I'm like, dude, really? You got you just had surgery. You getting ready to have surgery?
It's impotent.
You sure you want to do it? And he's like, it's impotent. So, funny
Dude,
stuff.
it's been a long time, man.
It has, man. Dude, me and Eric, we could just sit around.
Yeah.
I got the fire pit outside later this summer when it warms up a little bit.
Sounds good.
Guys, me and Eric, we could just sit around and jibber jabber for hours and hours and hours. You guys know the deal, though. If you've got, because we'll just talk. We'll talk for hours. But if you guys legitimately have questions, right, you can do a super chat. You want to throw money down. I'm all about taking your money. But you don't have to. Put a legitimate question in the chat room. We're going to try to stay away from politics this week. All right.
No politics.
Yeah, right, no promises. But yeah, if you got legitimate questions, especially for Eric, please let him know. All right. Blah blah blah. No, different guy. All right. First question is, did we serve together? Yeah, slightly.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was actually, first time I met Eric, we were both 18 Deltas,
Yep.
and but we weren't in the exact same class. I think you were a little bit ahead of me, a little bit behind me, one of the two.
Yeah, a couple years
But
ago. A little bit.
I was in Charlie Company. Charlie, most of my time was in A15. That's where Eric was.
That's what I was.
But I was in C15. This was before they even became a SIF company. And I had the group surgeon, young doctor, red beret, comes running through the company and he goes, "Hey, are you 18 Delta?" And because most of the company was deployed. And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you ski?" Now remember, fifth group is a desert group, so that's kind of a random question. Yeah. And I go, and the whole time I'm thinking, I'm a Green Beret, so I can do anything, right? Everybody's seen Rambo fly helicopters and everything. So I'm like, yeah, of course I can ski. Yeah, no big deal. And he grabbed a couple other 18 Deltas, Eric being one of them. And what it was there was this, because doctors have to do continued education. So they go do these medical conferences. Well, there's one medical conference that him and the surgeon from Task Force 160th wanted to go to was at Breckenridge, Colorado, and it was Winter Wilderness Medical. And the group commander said, "No, that's a boondoggle. You're wanting to go skiing." And the group surgeon's like, no, seriously, it's real training. So the group commander said, "Group will pay for it if you can get a couple 18 Deltas to go with you." So we never saw him. We never saw the surgeon the whole time we were there. He's off running around. No. But me and Eric, we pair up with this other National Guard doctor.
Yeah,
right?
Doc Smith.
Yeah. And it was like an hour of medical class and then 2 hours of free time ski time where they paid for your lift tickets. And then a lunch medical class while you ate lunch. They had a guest speaker while you ate lunch. And then the afternoon was free time ski time. And then another medical class for like an hour. Yeah. And then in the evening, they turned all the lights on the ski lifts and it was ski time, nighttime ski time. Yeah. So basically, I learned my knees kept getting worse and worse and worse. Who saw that coming? But we had a great time. I still remember you skiing in those ugly green Gore-Tex. Remember the Army Gore-Tex? Yeah. And as goofy as he looked, because I'm looking at him, because everybody else is in like bright reds and blues, and they're like. This was the late 90s, so early 90s.
Yeah, it was midnight.
So, everybody wears yoga pants now, but back then it was the tight ski breeches. Yeah. And they're all in bright colors. And Eric looked goofy as shit wearing his
Gore-Tex.
Army Gore-Tex camouflage pants and top. And I'm like, that boy looks goofy as hell. And then I look down at me and I'm wearing the same thing. But I can't see how goofy I look because I can't see me through the big snow goggles. Yeah. We were a pair. We had a good time.
Yeah, Doc Smith. I met him. Yeah, I met him during the North Star projects, on the training the SWAT teams on the East Coast. Super good dude, and all he wanted to do was become an SF doc.
Yeah, that's all he wanted.
That's all he wanted to do, and he eventually was persistent enough and. Of course, we helped him out a little bit, and he made it. And I think he ended up was a little time at the 160th. I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys know the deal. Later on, I went to A15, and Eric was basically an assaulter on one team, 18 Delta, and I was a sniper on the sniper team that supported his A team. And so yeah, we would deploy, and but yeah,
We did one in K-Sword and the preps were the nuclear silos and all that kind of stuff. We did some Wazoo stuff. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I had some good memories. There's a bunch of stuff we can't discuss, but you know, hey, it is what it is.
It was a good time.
But it's a good time. And then I got out in 06. Went to Ray Horst was a director over at one of the projects with the OGA folks. I jumped on board and did 5 tours with Ground Branch. And
5 tours. He's not allowed to say the word CIA.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to say CIA. But see, I can say, I won't say it. Ground Branch.
Ground Branch. Yeah.
Other
and then
government agency.
Yeah, other government agency. And we did some GRS time, and that pretty much that lasted for almost 7 years, and then you know, I got out and.
I have got questions coming in. Let's see if any of them for you. Well,
Let's
one's actually for me. It's from Gray. How was SHOT Show? Anything new and exciting?
Yeah, how was SHOT Show?
I just got back from SHOT Show. Having just had a full knee replacement, the change of pressure on the airplane did not make my knee happy. But I only went for 2 days instead of 4 because I knew with a new knee I shouldn't be walking for 4 days straight. So I tried to pack 4 days worth of meetings into 2 days. So I basically overwalked for 2 days. So yeah, I was miserable. But as far as new stuff coming out at SHOT, there's absolutely nothing new out right now. Don't get me wrong. Every company has to have something new for SHOT Show every year. So like you walk into this particular optics company and yeah, hey, Carl, we got lots of, I'm like, okay, what's new? They're like, this is new. I'm like, that was new last year. What makes it better than what I got last year? And like, well, it's in flat dark earth this year. Okay, I spray painted it last year. Have you made it any better? And the reality is most of them didn't. I'm simplifying that a little bit. There were new guns here and there. There were new optics here and there. But as far as anything new, cutting edge, there just wasn't. Let's see if I can find a question for Eric. All right, Blackstone Valley. Carl, I've got I just had more questions jump ahead. I hate it when it does that. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to read here. I have a 22, and I put a deep scratch into the barrel through the finish. Is there a paint or epoxy I can use to keep the steel out of the element? If it's a blued barrel, chances are it's a blued barrel. If you've got a 22, even Walmart sells kits for re-bluing. It's very, very easy to do. Follow the directions on the bottle. And yeah, the guys that get really good at bluing barrels, they'll have like a tank with oil for dunking the barrels in to give it a really beautiful finish and everything. I'm like you. I like to touch up bluing with just a cheap bluing kit. Again, you can get it at Brownells. You can get them. I have found them at Walmart, but bluing yourself is not hard to do. The only reason why I had to start doing it was my father-in-law. Before he passed away, he owned a bunch of storage places, and a lot of times you go to clear a storage out, somebody hasn't paid rent in a year, and there'd be like an old shotgun, old break action, single shot, 16 gauge or whatever, old 22 long rifle, and they were always all rusted out and pitted and everything. So what do you do with them? Well, I don't believe in, selling guns. I just hold on to them. So I have a bunch of old guns that I have re-blued myself. You'll find it's not hard to do, number one. Number two, even if you screw up re-bluing it, it's gonna it'll hold up better against rusting. But three, even if you screw it up, you're learning. That's how you get better. You understand nobody carves marble perfect the first time they try to carve marble. You've got to screw up the first couple times you do something. So don't take it personal, and I challenge you to do it yourself. Anything to add on that? You ever blew any guns?
No, what we do is we PVD and Cerakote and been through all that, but that's manufacturing processing.
I have somebody asking about the Holosun night vision red dot. I didn't even mess with Holosun because their new night optic was new last year at SHOT, and they still haven't worked the bugs out in it. Don't get me wrong, there are other people on the internet that are doing reviews and saying that it's awesome, but you understand those are the guys that they get a box with something new and they immediately film a video and they read all the talking points, all the marketing points off the side of the box. Where you guys know me, if I get a new optic, it's usually a year before I put out a video on it, and that's because I want to give you guys my honest opinion on things. I'm rough on stuff, dude. I break some optics. I break some guns. I've got it down. All right. Again, trying to find question for Eric. No.
It's all good.
That's not for you. Not for you. Ask Carl if his guest believes his Parkinson is related to service. Hopefully the VA sees it that way too. Thank you for his service. So what do you think? Gave you the jitters, dude.
Yeah.
Too many wall charges?
Maybe, but that's not really it. I think it was definite exposure at K2 in Uzbek.
K2.
The Russian, all the Russian chemical exposures.
And there's a lot of people that you guys understand. Task Force A15.
A15.
He had left A15 right before the towers fell, but he was still in.
Yep.
They were up in Uzbekistan at a camp called K2.
Yep.
Meanwhile, A15, we sat on our asses back at Fort Campbell. We eventually went into Kandahar with what was called, they were up north, Task Force Dagger.
Yep.
We went in as what was called Task Force K-Bar. We had the Germans, we had the Kiwis, we had the Dutch Delta Force, we had A15, we had a SEAL platoon. Anyways, we staged out of Kandahar, and you guys have heard me tell 100 stories about it. But the guys up out of K2 in Uzbekistan, there's been so many cases of Green Berets coming down with. You're another statistic,
and what they're calling them now is a lot. Most guys end up getting cancer, and that's what we're afraid of. But it is related to service. The VA has been, in my opinion, just cheetah flipped to help us out. My neurologist or neurosurgeon or neurosurgical team is out of Vanderbilt, Vandy. So I'm incredibly lucky there. And they're directly connected with the VA here in Nashville, and it's our certain this is related 100% to this, the Uzbek exposures, and so
Randy Worth was up there. You know the deal. Randy's beat cancer twice.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I get stuck, but the cancer has been the biggest killer of the pipe hitter, but
seriously.
And that's from that.
Marcus Foster.
Yeah.
Same thing. Marcus Foster had a brain tumor and died while he was in A15.
Yeah.
But he was exposed to it at K2, came to our company later in time. He actually missed the invasion of of Iraq. He was there in Kuwait. He would have gone in with us, but he had a real bad seizure in the chow hall. during the air war, but he was exposed up
Yeah,
at
Marcus
K2.
and I worked together. We're at on the CFAL committee, and he was recovering them, but he ended up passing away. Super good dude. Ed Lowe. Just a bunch of guys that. And anyway,
I think it's like 21. We've lost 21 Green Berets now.
Yeah.
From just since the towers fell from cancer and other things
and
like
that.
They're
calling it. They're categorizing it as a super. These super cancers that are just 6 months. You get some pain, and then 6 months later you're done, and it doesn't matter whether it's lymphatic or colon cancer or pancreatic or whatever. They just come on and boom, they're there. They show up and pow. So.
And I never went to K2, never been to Uzbekistan.
You're lucky, man, I'll tell you.
No, what was it like? Was it just the trash they were burning?
Well, it's when we were on the first bird over there. It was like 11 days after 9/11.
Yeah.
I think right. And then the Uzbekis, they had this walled off section, and they said, well, we can put you over here. And the powers that be, like the Uzbekis, they wouldn't even go near the place. I mean, they wouldn't even no.
So they knew.
They knew what was up.
Oh, gee,
then within day 5 of us being on the ground, there was an Air Force preventive med team that was brought in specifically to test, and they radiological chemicals. I mean, it was a dump site from the end of the Cold War, where they were decommissioning a bunch of munitions.
So they knew.
Yeah, they knew what was going on.
But the Uzbekis let you guys go there.
Well, right. Well, anyway, I won't play the name game, but or blame the name blame, but once like they put like 4 foot of granite stone gravel on top of it,
Yeah.
and so, well, that'll be good. And they were like, okay, but when it rains, the whole place floods, and then there was like 18 inches of water up on top of that. And so, I mean, there's photos of guys in their bunks, and they're literally, in water. And then once it dries out, then it's a dust storm. So you're breathing it all in.
Oh.
and
Wow.
So, yeah, and so the Air Force, they got us out of there about 5 years. Well, K2 was only occupied about 5 years, but there's been hundreds and hundreds of cases. So if you know of someone who was there and they have Parkinson's, cancer, or whatever, like Craig Vescovi just passed away. He was at the house, but if you know of somebody, get with your congressman and and get to the VA and the PAC Act, and we got squared away in a couple of months. The stuff's aggressive. It's really aggressive. It was early onset for me, but now I'm just, if I'm not on drugs, I can barely walk. I need a wheelchair. So it is what it is. But hey, we served, we signed on the dotted line. I don't regret.
We put our life on the line.
Yeah, we made history, and there's some things that we did that it was all good for the country. You know what I'm saying. So I do say
it's not appreciated by many.
Not many, at least not now. But anyway.
That's
some
good coffee right there.
So,
all right. Eric's a knife maker now. He has pushed away from his guns, and you've got a table full. I don't know if you guys can see all the. You guys can't see. He's got a table full of guns over here.
Knives.
But
so
table full of knives, not guns.
Yeah.
Who's got the Dane Bramage? It's I'm the one calling them guns.
Yeah, like
All right, what do you want to start with?
well, I don't know. What we've got coming out right now is our mini, our tier 1 mini and mini, and then a trainer for that, and
All right, so guys, and I even see, guys, he's got a ton of really sexy knives. He really does. Ton of sexy knives.
yeah, I mean we here.
Well, you cut yourself, man. You're shaking like a leaf over here.
It is what it is, bro.
Nice, dude. That right, good looking blade.
So
Look at
that's our mini.
and everything. All right,
This is
one
there's the
size
show
up.
side, yep.
All right.
So with
I
this
gotta
with
go
this
up a
blade,
little higher.
these are the handle. These handle profiles are identical.
Yep.
So this is a 4-inch blade on the mini, and then a 3.5-inch blade on the mini, and the handle and on the cutouts, like this blade has the same cutouts as this, except this has the full thickness handle.
Okay.
This has the EDC. So if you want the grippiness of a full thickness handle, or you want to go super light with the EDC scales, the cutout scales,
Yep.
you can.
One
And-
or the other.
yeah, one or the other, and we have a trainer for it, and then what? So this,
You guys understand what he's saying when he says trainer. So it's still a blade. You still got the same
Yeah.
handle, but for hitting a heavy bag in the gym, for
Yep.
example, or light combatives training, more for you practicing strikes with it without having to worry about cutting yourself.
Yep. So when you train, so this even though this is a 4-inch blade, that's a 4-inch blade. And that's a 3.5-inch blade. Right. We designed our sheath system to go with this.
Raise it up a little bit so they can see it. All right, so it locks in nice.
Locks in there.
All right.
And now put the 3.5-inch blade inside.
Just as tight.
Just as tight. Now the trainer will fit in there as well.
That it does.
And so
That's solid too.
yeah,
That,
right.
that's
Well,
not
the
coming out.
trainer's a little bit loose, but if you're putting your real knife, the mini or the mini in there, it's rock solid.
Yeah.
And the whole premise is for when you break concealment and you draw and you're going through whatever your primary and alternate strikes are actually going to be, you can train that at full speed with your training knife
Without wearing out your scabbard.
without
Yeah.
wearing out or else the possibility of cutting yourself up or injuring yourself or whatever. So you can perfect your draw and still
Very nice.
train. So this is an Alti clip. This is an inside the waistband.
Yeah.
Like if you ever done a ShivWorks course, it's very reminiscent to what they do, and philosophically, like those guys. I mean, if you're going to go to a knife training course, ShivWorks is they're it. But like here you can on the mini. This is the mini. You can see
Mini.
the mini,
So this is a mini.
the tier 1 mini, and the tier 1 mini.
Mini. Same handle, just 3-inch blade instead of
Yeah, 3.5 and 4-inch blade.
3.5 and 4-inch blade. All right.
So that's what that's about. Or you can go with our leather, like our leather option. I love leather. Leather, I think, just goes with a quality knife. Like you got a 79-pound magnet, holds it in.
Really?
Yeah. Right.
Huh.
And then on the back of the sheath, yeah, go figure, right? You can carry angled, horizontal, vertical. Plus, you can use an Alti clip, either inside or on the outside, and put this inside the waistband and carry this. and you can also take off like this. This snap actually comes off. It's on screws, and so you can use magnetic retention, or you can actually use your retention strap to hold the retention here. But this is the full size mini. It's a Tier 1 mini in stonewash instead of PVD.
Guys, ain't that pretty? Oh, that's soft leather too, man.
Yeah, dude, we're not screwing
Who does
around.
your leather work?
3M. They're a really Phil and Nikki.
He wasn't joking about the magnet,
yeah,
guys. It's going to stay in there.
Yeah, it's going to stay in there.
And you can run it either direction.
And you can run an ambi or not. Yep. So our
That
leather
is very sexy.
Yeah.
He's going bigger. He's got bigger knives.
Yeah. Go bigger, go home. Man. So this is the Cacula. This is this. Well, you remember in the movie Gladiator?
Yeah.
You know, Maximus is a general, and then his servant, right, is a Cacula.
Okay.
So it's in Roman terms or Roman slang, it was used as a derogatory term as far as like a slave, but in medieval times it's more like a page. Okay. You know, they help you get dressed in your armor, they help you get prepared for battle, they help you day to day. That's your soldier servant is a Cacula, and I just thought that was fitting for this knife.
Okay.
That's a fighting blade right there.
That's a nice blade right there, guys.
And originally this was the cutout is due to lightening, to making things as light as possible, but still keeping things strong. But this was designed as a folder to come out. So our first folder will be this
knife, but it'll be a folding version.
It'll be the folding version of it, right? And the same thing with this sheath. All the different carries, horizontal, whatever, and it's got the magnet.
Still got the magnet.
Got the magnet. Got to have the magnet.
Dude, that is badass. That is definitely badass.
And that's a contour sheath, so it's shaped, as is.
Yeah.
Per the knife. Let's see this one. Here's our Alaris. This is done for Jared over at Guns and Gadgets. So like you can see the Guns and Gadgets logo. And then his logo's on it, but this is my wife has one of these as an Alaris.
You use this in the kitchen, man?
She uses it in the kitchen.
You use it in the kitchen.
Yeah, so
that's a clever cleaver right there, guys.
It's like one of the guys on Instagram, forget his name, he calls it the tactical camp cleaver. And that's really what I designed it for as a camp knife.
And the holes in the side are for spindles for fire making?
For your bow drill.
Bow drill.
Yep.
You guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you've seen where you take your sticks, you notch the bottom one with a hole, and you've all seen it in the Barney the Flintstones. But instead of having to have that rock up top, trying to find a rock with a divot to put like earwax in, a lot of good survival knives will have a divot right there to put on the top of your spindle.
Yeah, and it takes if you put pressure into your fire hearth, and it's when your spindle is on steel, it takes like 50% of the resistance out.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy out of Germany who's never done a bow drill fire before, and within 36 or 40 seconds or so, he's got a smoke and an ember, and within a minute and a half, he's got a fire in his bird nest.
That puppy goes all the way to the metal.
Yeah, all the way to the metal. The divots were actually down into the tang.
Yeah. So
down into the tang.
Both sides, and it's designed, guys, so you can literally keep it in the scabbard. So if you are that tired, you're not going to fall and slit your throat and everything. That is nice, dude. That is a kitchen knife. That's a good kitchen knife for the camper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got video out there where they're batoning cow femur in half. They're chopping into aluminum block. Our heat treats are on point. I mean, we're known for having some of the toughest blades out there. But It's no joke. I mean, we don't. I don't cut any corners. I mean, you knew me when I was as a medic. I didn't. You know, we're not fucking around.
Eric's one of those guys. He, if he's gonna do something, he goes 100% on it.
That's all.
Man, well, that's my new favorite right now.
Now this one is not done. This is a custom MKB7. The only I haven't profiled an edge into it yet, but this is the modern K-bar 7-inch, and that.
Look at that monster right there, guys.
Yeah, that's going to make some Marine happy.
Man, that blade feels good.
Yeah, and the tiger shark that I carried for, I mean, when you and I were working together, that was
I remember
very similar to that, except it was a convex or not.
Back so you guys can see it.
Yeah, that's acid etched. And then these are the minis and mini minis. This is going to Cliff Gray out of Montana, one of the outfitters out there. He's getting both sets.
Okay. Wow.
I'll just let you show them. So
Look at that. Same thing, the minis, but
in stonewash instead of PVD.
polished up.
Yeah, I like the stonewash minis.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
Now the anthracite, the PVD that we use on the Cacula is anthracite. This is titanium zirconium coating that we put on the blade, and you can kind of see the titanium look, kind of all the way through it. So anyway, now a knife. What do you want to do with this?
What do you guys say? We got a bunch of people hanging out here. You guys want Eric to give one of these sexy things away? Nah. No. Here's the deal. Everybody likes free stuff.
Yeah, all right. I know. All
right. So I'll tell you what.
I mean, how are we going to do this? I mean,
what we're going to do is, what time we got? We are going to, at 8 o'clock, we are going to draw a winner. Right, so between now and then, you've got to spell Eric's name correctly. If you want to get entered in the chat room, you put E-R-I-K, right?
Yep.
Make sure I remember it correctly.
Yeah.
E-R-I-K. You're allowed to enter a maximum of 3 times. Oh, dude, you got a whole box and everything.
Yeah. This is like the whole.
Oh, dude, guys. Yeah, you get the box and the scabbard. And check that puppy out. Holy smokes, dude.
Yeah, it's a good knife, dude.
Nice.
That's the BC.
All right. What's it called?
It's a Tier 1 BC.
Tier 1
BC.
BC. Tier 1 BC. I see I got a couple putting their names. Again, remember, randomly drawn by my moderators, and they got some program, but from what I'm told is if you enter more than 3 times, your name gets bumped. Your avatar gets bumped. That is badass, dude.
Yeah.
And it's got the
bow drill to it too. Like the last one I gifted was a young kid. He just came to 5th group. His HB is his or HG, excuse me, are his initials. I'll leave his name out of it, but he is now being deployed as a Special Forces Green Beret.
Nice.
In 5th group.
Good looking. That is a good looking blade right there, guys.
Yeah.
And I'll come back. I'll let you see the other side. All right. So one of these guys is going to win this knife, or a gal. A gal might win it. All right.
You want to talk about what's in the box?
Yeah.
All right. Kydex sheath, dangler.
All right. What else is in the box?
And we've got a Wicked Wax sampler from Fred Dupree.
What's a Wicked Wax?
Well, Wicked Wax it's the only product on the market right now that's food safe. So you can treat your knife, the steel, you can treat the handle material, and your leather, but
if you put it in your mouth, you cut food and stuff.
Well, when you cut food or prep food for it,
so
it's
like
food
I
safe.
would always lubricate my folding switchblade with olive oil.
Yeah.
Because I was a nutbag.
Right.
My mother-in-law would always lose her mind when I'd be cutting steak with it because she knew it had been inside some Afghani or something.
Yeah,
So
right.
I don't know where she gets all these ideas because you guys know I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
What else is in there?
Okay, so you got your stickers, and then your warranty, lifetime warranty. Like
Lifetime warranty.
Yeah, lifetime. You break your blade, I'll replace it. You snap your blade, I'll replace it. You know,
Nice.
out of the thousands of blades I've done, I've snapped one blade, and I did it.
You did it.
I was literally hitting it with a hammer. I was pounding
trying
to break the blade, and I'm bang, and I'm snapping it in half. You know, and then here's warranty card, an information sheet. Tells you the primary bevels, type of steel, heat treat, all the information that's in there. And we've had several reviewers, you know, talk about what we actually put in our boxes, and as far as
all right, guys, remember you can enter 3 times. We're going to draw at 8 o'clock. If you guys have questions for Eric, I'm going to let you toss that back in the box. Questions for Eric or questions for me. You guys know the deal. Put them in the chat room, and my moderators will pass them on to me here. All right. I had somebody asking about, Carl, can you elaborate on the contraction of arteries when severed, please? It doesn't always happen. Understand when you go into fight or flight, when you get scared, certain vessels in your body contract, other vessels in your body actually expand, and that's to bring basically blood back to the core. There are certain organs that your body needs to do. And again, this is all primal. When you're scared, your hair stands up. Why? There are some scientists that say it's primal, like the hair on a cat, trying to make the cat look bigger. There are other scientists that say your hair stands up kind of like the whiskers on a dog, so you can feel things sooner. Your pupils dilate. Why do your pupils dilate when you're scared? Did it get darker in the room? No, it's because your brain is screaming for more information because it's scared. And that's why you have to learn to shoot with both eyes open, because when you're in fight or flight, that's the way you're going to shoot. And we had it beat into us in Sephardic. Beat into us. Now, when you get injured, and understand it depends on where it is. And the importance of tourniquets, for example, is somebody gets shot, they're bleeding real bad. Everybody knows that you've got to put a tourniquet on. Everybody's got that. But sometimes if somebody has a traumatic amputation, they hit that bouncing Betty or that little landmine, or the motorcycle comes by and completely cuts the guy's his foot off. A lot of times those traumatic amputations do not bleed a lot right away. And the reason for that is, you ever grab that hot pot on the stove when you were a little kid? Every muscle in your arm retracts, and when that happens, all those muscles tighten up. It actually is squeezing those vessels. Now, if you were to make that tight fist, go ahead at home, make that tight fist. I want white knuckles, make a tight fist. Whiter, I want white knuckles. What you're gonna find is you can't keep that fist that tight for a long period of time. So it's not bleeding. The medic, we treat you. The other bleeder, we treat everything, chest seals, everything. We go to put you on the litter, we put you on the helicopter, we've got other people to deal with, but you've got a space blanket over you. Now all of a sudden, remember, you can't keep that fist that tight. All of a sudden those vessels start to relax, and then that blood starts flowing. So I want to stress that, you know, even if it's not bleeding, a traumatic amputation gets a tourniquet. It always, always, always gets a tourniquet, because eventually those vessels and those muscles are going to relax, and that blood's going to start pouring. And the poor PJ, the flight paramedic, he doesn't see it because you've got a space blanket over you, and it's just pouring onto the floor of the helicopter. He's got 4 other patients he's dealing with. And by the time they get to that CASH, that Combat Army Surgical Hospital, you've done bled out. Now the medic, we say, well, he was alive when I put him on the helicopter, but the reality is me, the medic, made the mistake, or you, the medic, you, the first responder, made the mistake by not putting a tourniquet on that injury right away. I think that's what you were talking about, so I hope I covered that well enough. Anything to add? Eric was always a better medic than I was, so I tend to...
Well, it's like the last amputation that I treated was 70 minutes without bleeding a drop.
Really?
70 minutes before the birds came in and took him out, and no drop, but he got a tourniquet. And how do I know that he didn't bleed it? Because I didn't put the tourniquet on. I put the tourniquet on and I didn't tighten it down because it wasn't bleeding. And once we went to put him down, our final checks, I tightened everything up and then put him on the bird. And he was also a complete severing, where he severed his leg was gone. And that's just one incident that
Good example.
yeah.
All right, Luke B., when do the 5th Group boys get the new SIG carbines? They already have some of them. 101st Airborne has I want to say a whole brigade, at least a battalion that are trying them out. 5th Group got some of them also, but understand the new SIG battle rifle, the 277 SIG Fury, it's a 6.8 by 51. In very crazy high chamber pressure. And you'll notice you're not hearing a lot about it in the news. You're not hearing SIG screaming about it on all the advertisements that they've got the new military weapon, because it's not hitting its benchmarks for accuracy. It's really not. And they like the SAW version, but the battle rifle is not. It's not. Let's just say it's not going to replace the M4. It's not, and that battle rifle should not. There's a place for a assault rifle, and I know you guys don't like the term assault rifle for an AR-15, but the reality is the M16 family of weapons is an assault rifle. An assault rifle, by definition, is a select fire carbine that fires an intermediate cartridge. So in other words, not a battle rifle cartridge like a 30-06, not a 9mm like a subgun MP5. Intermediate, it's in the middle, and that's where 5.56, that's where 7.62 by 39 sit. The AK-47 and the M16 are both assault rifles. It's okay. Now, we got away from using battle rifles with the M14. That was our last real battle rifle. But what you saw in Afghanistan a lot, the conventional units were needing a rifle with more range, and a lot of those M14s were pulled out of storage, and they put scope mounts on them, and they were put back into active military service as a heavier rifle cartridge, 7.62 by 51. And the generals that were colonels back then saw the need for this. And that's why there was a push for the SCAR. And even though the SCAR wasn't adopted, the SCAR Heavy, you saw a lot of them pulled into service because there was a need for a gun that still had enough terminal performance out past 300 meters. They needed 7.62. And now the contract, and again, it's a few years old now, but the thought process is they need something that can kill Chinese body armor past 300 meters. And to do that, you need an armor-piercing projectile. They went with 6.8. It's a good projectile. That was actually the projectile that was chosen back in World War II, but we ended up going with 30 caliber because they had a bunch of it laying around. Don't get me started on that either. But even going all the way back then, 6.8 was proven to be a 277 was proven to be better than 300.
6.8.
Yeah. 6.8. SPC is light years better, but the 6.8 SIG is a different projectile, and it's got a nice armor-piercing core in it, and it is. I'd have to run in my office. I've got some of the casings I could show you guys. It looks like a neck down 308 casing, but it's got a stainless steel bottom on it. And that's because the chamber pressures, it basically is a 6.8, but at 300 meters, it's hitting with as much energy as a 300 Win Mag. And to do that, you have to overpressure that chamber. And it's wearing very, very hard on the guns. All right, good question though. Good question, man. We are falling behind on questions. That's all right. Eric, what is your favorite steel to work with?
Oh wow. I like CPM 154, but 3V is just. It'll do it all. I mean, CPM 154, I like to heat treat it at 62, 63, 64 hard. That's really, and depending on the size of the blade, some people would say that's really hard, and it is hard, but it'll hold an edge for flipping ever. But 3V, I mean, you heat treat it right, and we temper at like 1,060, 1,080, 1090, 1,090 degrees, and so you can work with it around fire, and our heat treated 3V is just, I think we're doing it really, really well, because it'll hold an edge. And there's a guy in Germany who's almost 1,000 cuts in jute rope with this knife, this Alaris, and he's just getting like 980 cuts. He's getting tiny microchips to where he's nice and slicing it, and it'll you can feel the burr in the
actually resharpen it.
Yeah, in the paper. But 3V has become my go-to steel. If I only had one steel to make the rest of my knives with, it'd probably be 3V.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mountain Living, Eric, what's your favorite story about Carl? These are questions I'm supposed to be skipping, by the way. He don't have any, guys. Eric don't have any dirt on me. You guys know I'm...
My favorite story about Carl. Okay.
I got no idea where he's going with
we
this.
would be either in the house, or you could say on target, and you would hear this SBR, boom, 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 and you could hear him on the other side of the target just cleaning house. Boom, 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 boom.
My SR-25 Mark 11.
It's clearing houses with SR-25. That's what I remember. This cat right here.
Man, why do all the assaulters complain about my gun?
Nobody's complaining. They wanted to have your gun. That's why.
Byron Russell, you remember Byron?
Yeah.
Byron, same thing. He's like, man, I hated when you would come into the room because
boom, 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 and you're just shooting this dragon fire. Oh my God, dude, it was hilarious. And you'd hear guys on the radio chuckling there, just there he goes, there, yep, Carl's got one. Yeah.
All right. I already did that one. All right, sorry guys. Sometimes I get going in the wrong direction here. All right, we already did that one. Did that one. Peter from Hong Kong. He threw down 10 Hong Kong dollars, which is like 40 cents. All right, Peter here is in SHOT Show 2024. Did Eric join you, Carl? No, you didn't go to SHOT Show.
No,
did you?
I didn't go to SHOT Show.
You did. He didn't miss nothing, guys. Yeah, you did
brain
not
surgery.
miss anything. Yeah, brain surgery.
You can see the
Random American threw down 5 American dollars. How do we buy that sharp and sexy steel? Question mark. What's your website, brother? Where do they order from?
Well, we've got dealers, but you can go to FOBOS.com and hit the store and go in. But
Is it cheaper to go through a dealer?
we don't undercut our dealers. So if I sell direct, but I'll charge about $5 more. So
Okay.
but we don't undercut our dealers.
I'm not going to ask him for a TR code, guys. It's
all
$5.
good.
He's $5.
Phobos, FOBOS.com.
FOBOS.com. Excellent question. Random, I appreciate you bringing it up. I was going to get there at the end, have him pitch his website. Michael Thoreau, Eric, what is your favorite steel? We already did that one, sorry.
3V.
All right, Prep Brothers, Homestead.
Uh-oh.
What type of oil do you use for hardening? Thanks. What type of oil?
Oil.
For hardening.
Just we send it out to Peters, and we're doing big batches now. So if
you get it hardened outside your shop, and then it comes back to you.
Correct.
Awesome.
Like where I'll do the custom work in house, or the prototyping in house, and then we OEM the big shop. The big shop is in Michigan.
Nice. Grog, this for Eric. What is the estimate date of restocking of the fixed blades on your website? You must be sold out right now.
Yeah, well, most of our stuff sells out really, really quick.
Okay.
And I mean, if not, like it's hours or minutes, and it just depends on the knife. But we have a few Caculas. We've got some Alarises. We've got some BCs that are left. And
What about the Clever Cleaver? When's this one
back? Hopefully that'll come back out this year. But we'll see.
Second quarter, third quarter?
Maybe Q3, maybe. But
Okay.
what we're doing now is it takes 4 to 6 months to make a knife, and then that knife will come out, and then in the process you've got another knife coming in behind that. So I mean, I hate to kind of rain on anybody's parade, but if the calculus
Not next week.
not next week, right? That's kind of where I'm going.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want to say, hey, you're not coming on the live stream until you got shit you can sell. I didn't do that. I'm not here about pimping his knives, guys. We got 2 minutes, so if you want in on this, Eric, E-R-I-K. Remember, you can enter a maximum of 3 times. All right. All right, next one is from Howard Lucan. Can you demonstrate that tourniquet technique you use where it pulls right open with a single hand? I'm looking for a tourniquet right here. Guys, I'll save it for, I apologize. I didn't know we were going to be doing tourniquets tonight. I'm not in my office. You guys know where I usually do my live streams. I've got all my optics and tourniquets and everything within arm's reach for me to be able to share with you guys. I was already out here filming. I know you guys can't see it, but we're in the man room. My son still got his camera equipment set up. We filmed a commercial today, and me and my son have got to film a bunch of B-roll for upcoming videos tomorrow and the next day. So since we already had the lighting, see the lighting, since we already had the lighting and stuff set up, I just figured it's easier for me and Eric to do this in here. So I apologize. We'll do tourniquets next week. Susan, if you will remind me, but there is a way to prep your tourniquet that allows you to do one-handed tourniquet easier, which I know people will say, well, just use 2 hands, but that's hard to do self-aid on yourself if you've been shot through one arm. And that's Murphy's Law, guys. If you're left-handed, you're going to get shot in the left arm. If you're right-handed, you're going to get shot in the right arm. Howard Lucan, nope, that was that one. Billy Heaton, Carl, I don't own a 308. Should I go with a bolt gun or a gas gun first? Here's the deal. It depends what you're planning on doing with it. If you're just going to be deer hunting or you're wanting to learn precision rifle, go with a 6.5 Creedmoor and a bolt gun and put good glass on it, get good ammo, and learn the effects of the wind, environmental conditions, and everything. But you guys have heard me say I'm not bringing a bolt gun to a gunfight. What I mean by that is, like he's saying, my SR-25 Mark 11, for me to shoot from a third-story window, I had to do CQB to that third story.
Right.
So I needed to, and I would watch the Marines in Fallujah. You know, they had their M40 slung on their back, and they've got a single-stack 1911 or a Beretta, and the spotter would have an M4. Well, if the spotter goes in and goes left in the room, and the sniper goes right in the room, and there's three guys over there, nobody over there, he's got a pistol against three AKs. That is still better than a bolt gun against three AKs, because then, you know, both Marines get shot. So they would do it with their pistol, CQB with a pistol. So we always preferred a gas gun in a combat zone, especially urban, faster follow-up shots. And the reality is it's a 1.5 MOA gun. That's a 3-inch shot group at 200 meters. You know, I can live with that. You know, that's good enough for me. Most of my shots were within 400 or 500 meters anyways. So having a SR-25 that can shoot in the dark and stay within a chest inside 600 meters, rain or shine, night or day, that was plenty good enough for me. So if you're planning on using it for self-defense or to help the military defend our country someday or whatever, then I would push you to get a gas gun. But if you're just wanting to learn precision rifle, learn the effects of environmental conditions, wind, all that stuff, it's always better to be hitting your target. So I would go with a bolt gun. Now, where accuracy matters, you guys know I have a 338 Lapua. That is a bolt action, but that is a 1-mile gun all day long. And I have not found a semi-auto gun that will shoot a mile. Actually, we were talking SHOT Show. You guys know I did a video about the Barrett MRAD. It's 300 Norma, 338 Norma, and 308. You can change barrels on it. They got the new Army Advanced Sniper Rifle contract a couple years ago. I was on Gunny Time TV show, right, showing that new rifle when they first won the contract. Barrett at SHOT Show this year has the MRAD ELR, Extreme Long Range. It is chambered in Barrett 416 caliber. It is a big, the projectile, the bullet's as long as a 50 cal, but it is neck down to a .416 projectile, milled copper, very awesome, very aerodynamic projectile. It is a 2-mile rifle. It holds enough energy and speed to hit targets at 2 miles away. Yes, I've already made them promise to give us one. I just have to find a 2-mile range first, which basically boils down to me finding a farmer that owns 2 hills, one here, one 2 miles away, and then I'll put the steel out and we'll film us a sexy video. All right. You understand that's not that easy to find here in Kentucky. It's really not. All right, let's get another one for Eric and Carl. What methods work best to control the fight or flight adrenaline dump? The adrenaline dump after fight or flight.
Just training, threat inoculation, and
Stress test.
Stress tests, and doing it. You can do that through shooting on just on the range and going and running drills in competition with each other. That's a huge thing. I remember the first time, like Jason Hallberg, and we got back and just like, bro, you fucking stink. And it was that smell of fear, but it was the body odor, the adrenaline dump of being, and doing it for real. And it's like, and he was like, bro, you stink. And I was like, good Lord. And then that's that smell of fear. But threat inoculation, just over and over and over and over, and train it. And you'll be surprised when it comes to doing it for real, it'll be there for you.
Ron Tate asks, do you offer any training on the M14 type rifle, say about 3 days worth? And again, you're welcome to bring an M14, you can bring a Tavor, you can bring an AK, you can bring anything. And we have guys that show up with Tavors and AKs and everything to our pistol carbine classes. As far as M14s we're talking battle rifle now. We actually just started it this year. We have a class that's called Battle Rifle 1. It's a one-day class, and then Battle Rifle 2 is a one-day class. Battle Rifle 1, and again, you don't need a M14. You don't. As a matter of fact, almost all the students that are taking it are doing it with their regular AR-15s, a few Tavors, whatever. But instead of doing pew-pew at 3 to 25 meters at all these CQB distances, Battle Rifle 1 is for the battlefield. So you're going to be shooting 50 to 300 the entire course. And Battle Rifle 2, you get into working with teams a lot more. We're gonna cover teams and barricades and stuff like that in Battle Rifle 1. But the big thing is a lot of people, they go out to all these sexy classes and all they do is pew-pew at 10 meters or 7 meters on paper. And it's fun and it's awesome, but then you bring them out and you ask them, hey, what distance did you zero your rifle? Well, I zeroed it at 36, so I'm dead on at 200. Okay, what distance did you zero yours? I zeroed it at 50, so I'm dead on at 200. Which is it? Is it 36 or is it 50, so you're dead on at 200? And you understand that varies because height over bore, weight of your projectile, muzzle velocity, there's a lot of factors. So, and it really doesn't matter because if I take a 36 meter target with a 25 meter zeroed gun or 50 meter zeroed gun, you're only off by like that much, all right? But what we do is, if I all of a sudden give you a 200 meter piece of steel to shoot at, and you've never shot past 7 meters because you're a pew-pew guy, all of a sudden you realize you suck. And a lot of people don't want to see that. Me though, I want you to succeed. The whole point of coming to our courses is for education. So if you want to sign up for Battle Rifle 1, you want to bring an M14, that's fine. You want to bring an AR in 5.56, or you want to bring an AK, does not matter. I would, and you can shoot it with a red dot, but me personally, I'd run at least a magnifier. If you want to run a low power variable optic, a 1-6, a 1-10, whatever, that is the course where you're really going to stretch those guns out. Now, if you've never shot at distance, and I'm not insulting you guys, but understand a lot of you have never had the chance to do that. The day prior to every Battle Rifle 1 course I have on the calendar, the day prior to every one of those is another one-day course called Carbine Zero Mastery. And what it does is, and I'm not insulting anybody's intelligence, but the reality is a lot of people don't know what they don't know. So we're going to get you that point blank zero. Your gun will be dead on, balls accurate at 200. You'll figure out where that close in, where it crosses line of sight. It might be 36, it might be 50. Good example of that is my rifle My work gun that's in the back of the Jeep right now is 46 meters. With my 62 grain ammo, I'm shooting, it crosses line of sight at 46, dead on at 200. But then we're also going to do your holdovers and hold unders, so you can, so in other words, you'll have data at 250, at 300, and at 400. And when you go home, not only do you have a rifle that's zeroed, but more important, you know how to take all the rest of your guns at home. You know how to go out to the range and properly do point blank zero on them. But you're also set up for the very next day, Battle Rifle 1. When we start going out the 300 meters, you're immediately crushing steel because you know what your holdover is from a 200 meter zero to a 300 meter target, where your partners in crime that didn't take Carbine Zero Mastery the day prior, they're trying to see dirt fly up around the steel target. And it's tall grass. You're probably not going to see a lot of dirt flying up. We'll help you. You'll get through it. But you'd be a fool if you didn't come take it. I have a winner, by the way, guys. I'm gonna get my reading glasses here so I don't pronounce your name wrong. All right. We need. Oh, by the way, you got busted out. They said we need embarrassing Carl stories, not the ones that make Carl sound cool. Cut me some slack here, guys. Cut me some slack, all right? There's no embarrassing stories. There's not. I embarrass myself plenty. All right, the winner of Eric's knife, what's that one called?
Tier 1 BC.
Man, we don't have a winner. It's going to just stay with me. No, the winner is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, he's in the chat room. Congratulations.
DJ.
Daniel Jones, first off, congratulations. And
Congratulations.
all you got to do, I need you to take a picture of your avatar so I know you're not Ray Braddock pretending to be Daniel Jones. All right, and then email it to tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. That is tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. Again, send me a picture of your avatar with your mailing address that you want the knife mailed to. Now, for the guy that got second place, you don't get squat. You're the first loser. But for everybody else that also wants to get this knife, what's the website again?
Phobos, FOBOS.com.
FOBOS.com.
Yeah, it's easy.
All right, congratulations, Daniel. I think that's awesome. That is indeed. I want to thank my moderators for doing it. I got more questions here.
Answer them all, let's go.
J556, hey, Carl. You thinking about doing a knife throwing videos? You guys know I like to bring in subject matter experts. All right. Number one, I don't throw knives because I don't carry enough of them. All right. I'm not going to carry one knife and give it to the other guy. All right. I'm just not going to do it. We actually had Randy teach a class on throwing knives at the last Patreon course in October. That said, when I do videos, I like to bring in the subject matter experts that I want to train me. All right, same thing, medical class. Again, I'm a former 18 Delta. I can teach a TCCC class, but I prefer to bring in instructors that I would want to teach me. Survival classes, I bring in the instructors I would want to train me. Driving videos, I bring in instructors that taught me. All right, I have a guy on the internet that's what this guy does, is he throws knives I think he's a felon, he's not allowed to carry a gun. But he's all over the internet for his knife throwing abilities. He took a Russian helmet and put it up on the wall and threw his pocket knife at it, and it went through the helmet enough to basically do that shit right there. And okay, so anyways, he has agreed to come in. The short answer, I should just say, no, I'm not doing knife throwing videos, but that's not accurate. What's accurate is I'm going to bring you guys a subject matter expert that teaches people how to throw knives, and then I'm still not going to throw my knives at stuff. Throwing knives is fun, guys. I've tore up so many Spydercos overseas throwing these things because they're $100. You can't hurt them. If you break it, you go get yourself another one. And I used to throw them at everything because when you're overseas, you know the deal. Ethiopia, Jordan, wherever, force protection was harsh language and a Spyderco. You might carry asp with you, but we weren't allowed to carry guns in civilian clothes in a lot of these other countries.
Yeah.
Now that changes country to country, rules of engagement, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, pocket knife was what you had, and you're not going to throw it. You're not going to give it to the other side. Even if you get it to stick into the guy, he's going to pull it out, and now he's a pissed off guy that's got a hole in his front. I have stabbed 3 guys. They were all Americans. I was friends with 2 of them.
Ronnie
I
Troxel?
was former friends with 2 of them, and but one was a major that was running his mouth. And but they all live. They're all fine. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I warned that major like 4 or 5 times. Sir, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to quit running your suck. You need to shut your mouth. Sir, you need to shut your mouth. Sir, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to shut. Sir, if you don't shut up, I'm going to stick you with my knife. Sir, you don't shut your mouth, I'm going to stick you with my... Sorry, Major. Sorry, Major, you just stabbed me. Sir, I told you need to quit running your mouth. I knew I was... What could go wrong, though, right? Because if you understand, if you bust a sergeant major down to sergeant first class, I get to go back to A-team. There's no downside here. There's no downside, right? I get to leave my desk job and...
go back to doing what I want to do in the first place.
You know what they did? The whole sergeant major's mafia bullshit, they swept that shit under the carpet.
Oh, man, that's because it's you.
I didn't get in any trouble at all. That major was gone the same day. Gone. They sent him back to his unit. That was Baghdad, 2007. There's just some shit I shouldn't be saying on the internet.
It's all good.
Alexa, erase last 5 minutes of audio. There we go. See, we're good now. We're good. All right. Does Phobos have any folders? You were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Excellent question.
Correct. Now we've got the Cacula, and everything we make right now is made in the United States, but we are looking at working with Best Tech, and they're actually out of China. But they make, if you look, they are the Best Tech. They are the premier folder maker on the planet.
Really?
Hands down. I mean, there's a bunch of dudes. This is going to be controversial, and they're going to argue about it. But Best Tech, and those they've been working with.
Is their factory there, but their headquarters is somewhere else?
Well, one of their main designers is out of Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
And the dude, really good dude, like their BT line. We are in discussion with them right now about coming out with a couple of folders. Okay. So, folders sell 18 to 1.
Yeah.
And if you're in the knife, manufacturing, realm, and you're not making a folder, you're doing yourself a disservice. You know what I'm saying. So, and that's.
We just had Joe S. just threw down $10. Hey Carl, what are your thoughts on ported comped pistols while shooting in low light scenarios? Will the flash mess with your vision? Are you better off with a pistol with no ports or comp? Thank yous. Yeah, here's the deal is I know a lot of women that shoot regular pistols just fine. Now, maybe you're a guy with a vagina and you need to have ports on your pistol because you were born without any muscle mass at all. But unless you're shooting a 500 Smith & Wesson or maybe a 44 Magnum, honestly, you don't need ports on it. No. Okay, now understand. The competition guys that are you know, you understand it's like $10,000 to be first at the prize table, and then it's $1,000 to be second at the prize table. And separating first, fourth, fifth, and sixth place are like a couple hundredths of a second. Those are the guys that have to run ports and muzzle brakes on their pistols and their rifles, and they've got to tweak all their gear, and they've got to tune their magazines. But when you start having to port stuff out like that, now, if you're running a subcompact like a Glock 26, which is basically, you guys know a Glock 17 full-size duty pistol, you cut it down, you make it a 19, right? You shorten the barrel, but you shorten the handle also. The 26 is an even shorter barrel, but it's also got a shorter handle. It's basically that big, but it's still 9mm shooting plus P ammo, you know, EDC ammo. There's not much to hold on to. So if you're, especially if you're running a 40 cal version of that, like a lot of people used to run, okay, they make a compensated or ported version of that. But, and I know it's all the latest hotness. Everybody wants to have threaded barrels, and then they put their comps on there and everything. To me, having a threaded barrel, I'm big on that. I like having a threaded barrel on a combat pistol for that situation where I need to put a suppressor on it, right? Initial invasion of Afghanistan, initial invasion of Iraq, I carried a Beretta that had, not only would it take a Knight's Armament suppressor, but it had it was a special pistol that you could actually lock the slide shut so it wouldn't cycle. It was very, very quiet. Carried it years, never shot it with the suppressor on it. There was just never a need for it. It's a suppressor on a pistol is a great tool to have in your bag of tricks. All right, especially if you're trying to move through an area, you know, blacked out night vision, whatever, non-permissive environment. But to be running around with a suppressor on it all the time, no, definitely no. And for the competition guys that like to run their sexy suppressors, understand you're making your front of your gun longer, so now you're clearing the top of your holster slower, one. Two, you're adding more weight to it. And three, just like you just said, as soon as you start shooting at night, instead of that fireball going straight forward, it's now coming up directly into your face, and it will interfere with your ability to see the target. Right? And I know the pew-pew guys that shoot real fast on Instagram, you see them all, but you notice they don't ever show them hitting the targets. They shoot real fast, you know. They bring that rifle up and they fire 5 shells real quick. Yeah, they've got that real fast Xbox 360 trigger finger, right? But they're not hitting anything with it. And I'm not going to say their names, but there's a couple that are really big on YouTube. You guys worship the ground that these guys walk on. And I have instructors that come back and go, dude, man, that guy showed up at my range. He couldn't hit nothing, but boy, did he shoot fast. Anyway, have you gotten, I'm not a big supporter of muzzle brakes on pistols. Now, Eric's going to tell you different.
No.
Muzzle brakes on, right?
No.
Why? Because we did this for a living.
Yeah.
We did it for a living.
Yeah.
I know it's the latest hotness. That's like tall risers with big optics 7 inches above your gun. Because it is. Right now it's the latest hotness. I got that. But understand, it was the latest hotness in 2003. And it was the latest hotness in 1999. And we tried it because there was a bio mission we had to run. Remember the EOTechs on the carrying handles of the M4s? We had to elevate them because we were having to wear gas masks. And but as soon as that mission went away, we went back down to low, because just doing pew-pew, it's awesome. It's awesome to have it high. You don't have to bring the gun up as high. Hell, if you do an 18-inch riser, you can just bring the gun up down here and your optic will be up here. But for pew-pew, it's fine. But as soon as you get out and you've got to go prone, on the battlefield, a two-way gunfight, by the way.
Two-way range.
Now your head is higher, one, and two, it's really throwing off those shots at 200 meters. And I know it's the latest hotness now. It was also the latest hotness for certain direct action units in 2003 and 1999.
I ran a Seymour, if you remember.
Yeah, he ran a Seymour back in the day. All right, that was our last question. I think that's the one. Yeah, I got. Yeah, guys. I'll probably put a muzzle brake on one of my pistols just for shits and giggles, because I've had a couple given to me for free, and I'm sure my follow-up shots will be a little bit faster. But understand, if you take one of our classes where Emery teaches you how to properly establish that good grip, you're using that nutcracker grip, that pistol doesn't move at all when you're shooting 9mm. It doesn't move at all. And I don't need a muzzle brake on a 9mm pistol. I just don't. A Desert Eagle doesn't come with a muzzle brake on it, and a Desert Eagle shoots just fine. Guys, we are already at an hour and a half, and Homeboy's got surgery tomorrow. Tomorrow. So we're gonna cut this. We're gonna cut this early tonight. I love having you guys here. I do. But I'm going to cut the live stream short early tonight. I want to remind you guys, though, if you're interested in signing up for classes, I have classes in March in Texas. I still have a lot of slots open there. I have slots in April here in Tennessee. And then the classes in North Carolina in May are already starting to fill up. Those are in North Carolina. May, the day after the NRA show in Dallas, I'm doing an aerial gunnery class. We've rented a Little Bird helicopter, one-day class. That will be in Dallas, Texas. And then the rest of my calendar you can find at tacticalrifleman.com. I want to give a big shout out and thank our moderators for hanging with me and for running the giveaway. Eric, I want to thank you for coming on.
Dude, it's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure. And seriously, ma'am, you're going to have to bring him back. I'm not joking, dude. I got the fire pit out here. You've seen he's shot on my shooting range before, but I'll grill y'all some steaks. And I gave his wife a bottle of Helen's Finest wine and a bottle of Dead Red. That way she can try them both.
Yeah.
You got to score points with the better half. Otherwise, she won't bring Eric back.
She won't.
She won't bring him back. And I want to thank my sponsor tonight, Venture Surplus. You guys know the deal. Venture Surplus brings the Army Surplus store to your door. You don't got to get out and go to that Army Surplus place. They carry a lot of the brand new stuff that's going to the Marine Corps. For some reason, I get a lot of Marine Corps stuff. But they're always rotating. As soon as they sell it, they're bringing new stuff in. So check their website out pretty often. I was surfing on it today, and the thing I was thinking about getting a week ago, they're actually out of it now. But they'll get more stuff in. VentureSurplus.com. All right, guys, parting words of wisdom from Eric. Stay low and be fast. Stay low. Be fast. What do you guys think? Is that, I think that's better than what Steve Holland usually does. Steve will sit there and he'll do the whole Lord's Prayer with them and everything. And now you guys know the deal. I'm going to just tell you all that, y'all take care and shoot straight.